Back to the video wall tutorial. Right now we have our procedure defined, and today we're going to code our videos to actually call that procedure. So what this procedure does is it works for any of our video players. Now how many do we have? If we come over here, we remember that there are 1, 2, 3 video players. So I'm actually going to use this procedure 3 times. Let's just think about what this procedure is doing. For any video player that I have, if my video is currently zoomed in, then it's going to make my video small. It's going to make my height -1, which means fill parent. It's going to make my width -1, and it's going to make my height 36 pixels. And when my video is small, the option that I want to see on this button right here is that I want my video to grow. Coming back, if my video is not zoomed in, so if it's zoomed in, I want to make it small, or else I want to make it big. So I want to make its width take up the whole screen, and I want to make its height 144 pixels. And if it's big, I want that resize button, instead of saying grow, I want this to actually say shrink. And I can code the text on that button to go ahead and change there. So this procedure is going to make it a lot easier to code all 3 of these resize buttons, which is what we're going to do right now. First, though, we need 3 variables, 1 for each of my video players. So I'm going to name my first variable video 1 zoomed. And if I think about what I want for video 1, I don't want it to start zoomed in. I want it to start zoomed out. So I want it like down here where it's going to get bigger. So instead of it being a true value, I need this to be a false value. And I need to do that for video 1. I need to do it for video 2, so I'm just copy and pasting here. And I need to do it again for video 3, and it actually put zoom 2 there, so I need to come here and make sure this says video 2 zoomed. And this one is going to say video 3 zoomed. So these variables are going to help me code each individual video player. So the behavior I'm coding right now is for this to either grow or shrink when I touch my resize button, which is my grow button. So I know that I need resize button 1. And one thing that you want to make sure you do here is come over to your design view, and you want to make sure that your components are labeled very clearly, just like mine. And if they're not, you want to go ahead and fix that. So if they're not labeled just like this, please take the time to pause it and have that happen. Okay, so when my resize button is clicked, I want to call this resize video player procedure. So I'm going to come into my procedure block. That's not what I need because it needs to fit right in. I need to call my resize video procedure. And if you notice, these 3 variables that I defined in the first video are actually right here. They're also right here. These are called our parameters. So I want to call my video player, and I want to get my zoomed value. Tell me if my video is zoomed in or not. So I'm going to get my zoomed value for video 1. I am going to get my resize button for video 1. If you come down, there should be just a block that says resize button. So that's going to tell me what that resize button needs to be. And I need to get my zoomed value. So my zoomed value should actually be down here. That tells me if it's zoomed or not. Sorry, my fault. And the video player that I need to get is I needed to get the video that is playing under video player 1. And then when I click that, I need to set this zoomed value to the opposite of what it just was. So meaning if it was small, I need to set it so that the app knows it's now big. So I'm going to come to my variables, and I'm going to set my VideoWall2 zoomed value to be the opposite of what it is right now. And I know that opposite means not. So I'm getting the opposite of whatever it is. Setting it to the opposite of what it is. And the really convenient thing about MIT App Inventor is I can actually just copy and paste this code. Right now I see these error messages because I have resize button 1 doing 2 things, but if I switch it, so it's resize button 2, video player 2, global video 2, and resize button 2, that message will go away. Now this all corresponds to video 2. And I can go ahead and do the same thing for video 3. Resize button 3. Video player 3. Zoom value 3. And resize button 3. And as you can see, it's really easy to get this messed up. Right here, I forgot to change these values to be video 2. So I'm going to take a second to just make sure everything corresponds with the number it has. So let's check. Yep, everything here. I have 1, 1, 1s. I have 2s everywhere. And I have 3s everywhere. And you can see if you don't name your components, this is going to get very tricky. So now we have our app all coded to resize when we go ahead and click this resize button.